Prison is accumulation of literally the state's worst of the worst. I shouldn't have peeked my head out, but I peeked my head out, bro, and the guy in the cell next to me is getting stabbed. Like, stabbed in the eye, stabbed in the neck. Two dudes are stabbing him, bro, and he just came in with... There was people pushing up on me saying, you're gonna have to pay money because you don't have protection. Like, who's gonna protect you? We're gonna whoop your ass, boy. Like, and that night she saw blood on my shirt when we went to her house. She mentioned it to detectives later on. I get a public defender when I first go to jail, and I'm looking at attempted murder. Like, dude, I got this fool who don't take care of himself. He's sloppy. He's got baggy ass jeans. We know that image, bro, that says I'm going to jail.
Welcome back to another episode of On Tap. Today I'm joined by a man that has amassed a following of over 1 million people on social media, did 6 years in prison. He's the host of After the Gate podcast. He started a clothing brand, does modeling, acting. He's a dad. He's an entrepreneur. You've seen his face if you've been to a Great Clips recently. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce you to Alexander Denning, aka Alexander the Great.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's going on?
What's up?
Hey, thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate it. We've been really trying to get you and your brother on the pod for it's been over a year now.
Hey, you mentioning him right now, bro, because he wanted to be here. He's working, but now that you mentioning him is gonna warm his heart. So hopefully there's a follow-up in the future.
He's probably the best Elvis personality that I've ever seen on social media.
Yes, the modern
dude.
Elvis,
he's got the hair, he's got the look, he's got does he have those cars in his photos on Instagram? Are those his cars?
Oh, for sure. Sure. I got an old school Cadillac.
He's got everything.
Yeah.
He got everything.
Harleys, bro. He's the shit. I love my brother.
So let's start from square one. Let's start what was life for you growing up? Because you moved to Minnesota when you were real young. Yep. What was the start of Alexander Denning? What was your life like growing up?
Yeah. So pretty much, I mean, dude, it was a nice upbringing. My parents bringing me and my brothers. So I have an older brother and a younger brother. My younger brother's a police officer. As we get longer into the story, you'll see that that's kind of crazy, that he's ended up being a police officer. Me and my older brother, we were kind of the knuckleheads, always getting in trouble. But early on in life, it was Disneyland, bro. We're going to Disneyland, hanging out, going to a place called Magic Mountain, theme parks with my parents. They took us fishing. They took us hunting, bear hunting. So we were doing stuff that was not normal kids did. We go back to school and we're telling these kids and they're like, damn, what kind of life you're living. And my dad's preparing us for something. So life was good, bro. And for Alexander Denning, it was a privileged upbringing. So I'm so grateful and blessed to have great parents, bro. Shout out to my parents. I love Mark and Susan Denning. They've been my anchors for everything. You know what I mean? Everything through my life. But and as much as you look, how you go looking at your dad, you're I'm never gonna be like that fool. I'm never gonna be like my dad. I'm just like my dad, which you know what I mean? I'm sometimes, but that's my pops. I love him, dude.
100%. I can't tell you how many times as a kid getting yelled at by my dad, and I'm just I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
I fucking hate him. I'm never gonna be like him.
No, I'll never be like that fool.
And now that I'm getting older, I find myself my fuse is a little shorter now, and these little small blow up moments. I'm damn, I am my dad right now. I am my dad. So I can totally relate to that.
Yep. We got to live and learn, live through it, bro. Life.
You moved to Minnesota at how old?
So moved to Minnesota in 2005. So I was 14, 15 years old. This was me going into ninth grade. So a freshman. So, kind of a uprooting from everything we loved. And my parents were bringing my older brother to Minnesota from California when he's going to be a senior. So, I mean,
that's got to be tough.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, me and my brother were oh, everything we love is being just uprooted. And my parents had good intentions, but for us, we're shit, we're going to be rebellious now because of this, or you know what I mean?
Yep.
Falling into that trap of the victim or something, which we weren't the victim. Come to find out, my parents were making the best choice, moving away from, gang life and drugs and all these bad recipe for disaster, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's being that young, coming over at 14 or 15 years old, I had this California mentality and mixing with like this Midwest value.
Totally different.
Not good. Yeah. It wasn't good. I had to settle my ass down. One time I had an ex-girlfriend tell me, you're not in California. You can't act like that. So I'm like, it's true. It's really true. You can't act like that.
We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
No, we're in the Midwest. You better behave yourself or get tanned. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you don't like ranch, God bless your soul.
Yeah. You can eat some mayonnaise. That's cool.
You're not going to fit in if you don't even eat any ranch.
Yeah.
So now, like, what was your like track record in high school? Like, were you started out as a troublemaker? Or you just kind of like evolved into this like rebellious mindset?
Yeah. So, dude, I hate to like add this bad tagline to the skateboarding community, but like, I think just being that skateboarder and like coming from California, these people were like, who's this new dude coming from California at my school? And like, it just added to the persona. And then in my head, I'm pissed off at my parents because they uprooted us. You know, now I'm trying to establish this new friendship, new life. But it wasn't trouble, but it soon developed into that, right? So like a year into high school, I'm like finding the people who are partying. Then we're like robbing garages and stealing beer up out of it. You know, like the most Midwest thing. Like, I don't think people in California do that. They just go buy their beer. Like, I'm Midwest, we're like robbing our neighbors. You know what I mean? Sorry for anybody that happened to ever. If I did it, I owe you some beer. I owe you a 24-pack or something. I'm serious. But.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough too, and we've talked about this before, but the skate park is where all of us that are a part of On Tap have learned every bad behavior that we have. And, you know, the first fight I think that all of us have been in was at the skate park. The first beer that we drank was at the skate park. You know, it's just like,
It all.
The first, any substance, you name it.
Yeah.
Skate park, it seems like at least was the introduction to that.
Yeah.
So now lead us back into later on in high school then. Were you ever like getting in trouble in school, or was this all primarily out of school stuff?
So, like, just to track back a little bit. So from California, that upbringing, like that uprooting that I talked about was, like the most anger that came from what was like my career in skateboarding, right? I was young. I had a sponsorship from a local shop that was in the town I lived in California. And then I started going to like these conventions, you know, skate conventions and stuff like that, and getting a little bit noticed, getting sponsorships and stuff. And it felt like, dude, everything was skateboarding.
Yeah.
Ate it, slept it. No, dude, all day I'm talking to people about skateboarding. The people don't give a shit about skateboarding. And I'm just like, this is what I bleed, bro. And I still do. That was my first love. But when I transferred coming to Minnesota from California, it was like this, I can't skate the whole year round. And now it's like this different lifestyle. Now it's like I'm changing. And there's just so much bitterness from that. So then it like translated to like, okay, I always put my heart into like being the best skateboarder. Now I'm going to be the best criminal I can. Now I'm going to be like this, like, dude, it's this, we used to call it this term in high school, and anybody that like used to go to high school with me would know, is like, we would call it mobbing. So we would like I said, this stupid Midwest crap, like we would just go rob garages for beer to party with. So like, it's like, that was what like kind of like fueled this negative lifestyle. And then finding these peers that were like, okay, I'm cool with this. I agree with this like stupid shit, you know?
Yeah.
And then it continued.
Well, at that age, there's always someone that's willing to do that stuff. I mean, everyone also wants to be accepted. So it's also this like weird time of where you can choose what you want to do, so that you're going to choose like the easiest thing, or like the lowest hanging fruit, you know?
Yeah. Exactly, bro. And I think too, like the entire time it was me just wearing this mask of like, okay, I want this person to like me. I want this person to like me. Like never being who I truly was. And then when you finally become yourself, I tell kids that all the time, be yourself, because you're going to find those people quicker that accept you. And you're going to find these friends that have lasting impacts, rather than being somebody you're not with some people that ruin your life potentially, or you ruin it in their presence, or, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, you went to prison young. Like real young, like what, 19?
19. So I mean, teenagers still, technically 19.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at it, like at age 19, you think you have the world figured out. You feel like you're an adult. Looking back now, like at 19, I didn't know even what I was gonna wear for clothes the next day, let alone be able to decide the fate for the rest of my life.
No beard, no mustache hair, bro.
Right. So, I mean, walk me through that. What is that like? Well, I guess first off, obviously everyone's going to be dying to know. You put out a full length explanation of it on your YouTube channel at ATGTV.
Yep.
So you can go watch the whole thing there.
Yep.
But give us a quick and dirty rundown. How did you go to prison?
Yeah. So it was a buildup of like county jail visits of stupid little things, right? Until you get hit with something that's like, holy shit, this is going to be life changing. And when I'm sitting in the detective's front seat of his Impala that he's telling me, he tells me this, right? We're going to sit in silence for 3 minutes. This next 3 minutes is going to change your life. Bro, I didn't make it a minute and 20 seconds into the 3 minutes as I'm watching, like my heart slamming out of my chest, like I'm about to have a heart attack, bro. Like that 3 minutes did change my entire life. All I said at that point was, I don't want an attorney. I do want an attorney. Don't speak to me anymore until I have an attorney. And then they arrested me for attempted murder. So 2 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of assault, right? So life changing, bro. When they told me this, they took a picture of me like I was a prize deer. And it was just so degrading, bro, going through and hearing this. When they booked me in the county jail, they pointed at it and they said, you're getting charged with that, right? And it was said attempted murder, and I read it and I was just like numb at that point, right? But the instance, give you guys a quick rundown, you know what I mean? The instance where it kind of happened was those years leading up, criminal lifestyle, dealing drugs, involved in stupid crap. I'm driving down this county road at 3 a.m. in the morning, coming back from a party with a friend. And this car gets on our tail and is trying to run us off the road. I'm like, keep going. We're going 100 miles per hour. We're hauling ass. And I told my friend, we're just going to go home. This dude's drunk. Thinking in my head, this dude's just drunk. Still trying to run us off the road. Eventually, I told my friend, okay, he was driving. I told him, stop. Before we wreck, before somebody gets hurt, guy pulls over and I jump out. I say, what the hell's going on? And immediately some guy just bum rushes me. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm 19 years old. I was scared. I had a weapon on me and I reacted into a fight, got into an altercation. The dude ended up getting stabbed pretty badly. But the instance like during this was, I took it too far. Like being scared, fearful in the interaction of it. And like, dude, it took me 6 years. I battled like through these years of prison, like wondering, did I do the right thing? Did I do the wrong thing? Could I have handled it differently? And for anybody out there that would get into a situation where they're like, do I need to fight or flight? It's run every single time is the smartest instance for your physical well-being, your life, like run. Because I sat 6 years of my life I'm never going to get back. And I could have just kept driving, right? I could have just slowed down or whatever the case was. I always say that just run like your life depends on it, because your life does depend on it. I lost what is the day? Like 2,400 days of 6 years. I counted every single one on a calendar.
Damn.
Bro. Every one.
That's insane. I could not even imagine. So like in the moment, you're obviously not even thinking about that. You're thinking like, how
Life's
am I going to
over.
get out of this, But okay, I had so many questions. There's so much to
away,
unpack.
brother.
Okay, so when this dude is like rushing you, you're thinking like, I need to protect myself. Like he's trying to kill me.
Yeah,
is your
knife
first
in
instinct too?
Yep. Knife in hand. All I remember, bro, is mohawk, tattooed white dude, and just like I'm asking what the hell, and he's coming bum rushing at me. And I'm obviously a little bit intoxicated, and looking like what the hell's going on. But I had that knife, and dude, in my head intentionally, like I was like waiting for this situation to unveil. Like it's as sad as that is to say, like that was my negative mind state at the time. Like I was looking for a situation to happen, and I was like, maybe just telling the universe, bring this shit to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Do you think part of it is like a manifestation? Like you just acting out like that all the time. Like you're bound to get something like that at some point.
Oh, I swear, bro. Dude, and it's so crazy, bro. So like, I do believe that, because like literally the night before I almost got into a fight and almost stabbed somebody. Like nobody knows that, right? It's the first time I've ever spoken about that. Almost got into a fight. Like the week before, almost got into a fight and almost stabbed somebody that was like jumping my friend, blacked his eye. Like I was looking for this situation, and that's that manifestation. You're just like ruminating on this topic and this idea of like, I want to be this person, you know what I mean? I'm gonna handle it a certain way, and don't handle it that way, because that's not the manly way. Some people might think, duke it out, handle it or whatever, or maybe the pussy way to handle something, but like just run. Don't You know what I mean? Your life depends on it. I'm telling you, your life depends on it. And prison is not pretty.
Dude, I couldn't even imagine. So walk me through that. What is your first thoughts okay, so you get charged with attempted murder. And, go ahead.
So to get you up to speed, that night after the stabbing happened, I went over to an ex-girlfriend's house that I had dated previously in high school. Like one of the major girls that was like one of my serious girlfriends in high school when I first moved here. She tells me the next day, bring me over some water. She was drunk from the previous night. We stopped at her house, me and my buddy, after the stabbing. Didn't tell nobody. I bring her water the next day. She says, my cousin got stabbed last night.
Oh my God.
My cousin got stabbed. I said, oh, you're what? It's insane. So her cousin got stabbed.
Did you at this point think that was it? Or you're just like, holy shit, what a coincidence?
At that point, I was like, I had already disposed of evidence, burned my clothes, got rid of the blade. Like I was like on full preservation mode. Like I'm not going to prison.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was on that mode. And that night she saw blood on my shirt when we went to her house. She mentioned it to detectives later on. So it's like,
God.
dude, it's a crazy occurrence that all led up to that. Dude, it's just so, I swear it's like a movie, bro. I swear it's a movie. It's going to be made into a movie someday. How like things transpired and just like connections and weird things like just don't make sense to me sometimes.
That is wild. Yeah. So, okay, how long before you get like booked in, like get arrested for it?
Yep. So 3 weeks after the incident.
3 weeks?
3 weeks, bro.
Dude, were you just like shitting your pants the entire time?
Didn't sleep that night. The full 3 weeks, I'm thinking like, dude, this dude tells people on the street, I know who stabbed me. After getting out of ICU and all this shit, they had to helicopter that fool from a field to Mayo Clinic, the best hospital in the world, to their ICU to save his life, keep him alive and all that stuff. And yeah, bro, he told people on the street, tell him I'm not going to the cops. I'm going to kill him. Be ready for it.
Oh my God.
I swear, bro.
Oh,
shit.
Her,
dude, yeah. The cousin who, you know what I mean? That girl I dated told me that, bro. And I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Cool. I'm not going to prison. Okay, whatever. I'll just handle this like a man. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I'm telling you.
God.
I know.
Dude, that had to have been just nerve-wracking. I mean, those 3 weeks had to have just been, were you just constantly in an adrenaline rush, like every time you were out in public? I mean,
oh yeah, I didn't leave much. I stuck close to home. I was still living with my parents at the time, my mom and my dad, and my mom and my dad could tell, bro. So the news was talking about the stabbing. They just didn't know it was their son. They like, dude, but they had an idea. And you know what I mean? I went up to my dad one day sitting out back and I was like, Dad, you hear about the stabbing? And I was like telling him about it. Like, no, I'm the culprit. You know what I mean? And like, he's like, yeah, that dude, they're going to put that guy away for life. I'm like scared, right, bro? Like everybody's telling me that, bro. So then this is how they catch up to me, right? No evidence, nothing, no blood, nothing. They have no evidence. That guy gets out of the hospital, sees a car at a Subway in the town that I live in, small little town. He says, that's got to be the car that it was that night. Tells detectives, pull that guy over. That was my friend that was driving that night. They have lights checking for blood all over his car. He gets scared, tells them everything. So then they tell him, you better tell us everything because you guys are looking at 30 to 40 years in prison, bro. So they're telling him that. Then that relays to me over those 3 week period. So, bro, I have a plane ticket. Nobody else knows this either. I haven't told them that. My family and we were all going to go to Colorado to see my aunt. Dude, I had a plane ticket for like June 16th. I got arrested June 7th. I was going to go with my parents to Colorado and disappear during the night, bro. And just never, dude. And dude, I'd have been on the run.
Never come back.
Dude, I'd have been on the run. Because I knew they were coming. The detectives came twice. Once at one time to just ask some questions and probe, get a profile on me. And my parents knew they were coming back a second time. And that's when they would arrest me and then raid their house looking for all the evidence. And
damn.
Yeah, 3 weeks later, bro. So 3 weeks after that event, detectives come. I'm smoking a joint in the back of my garage. Yeah. I close the garage door of my parents' house. And as I'm walking through the kitchen, I look through the window and I see detectives walking past. I'm like, my heart drops, sweating bullets immediately. Then they pretty much pull me out. That 3 minute thing happens where they're like, next 3 minutes of your life is the next 3 minutes of silence is going to change your whole life. And then got arrested, booked, taken to the county jail. They took everything from me. And dude, I sat in a holding tank for 10 hours in like I'm talking a small bathroom, or it wasn't a bathroom, the size of a tiny small bathroom. I sat in there at just a metal table for 10 hours, and they were like trying to have me sweat it out to confess. But like after 10 hours, they brought that paper, said, this is what you're being charged with, and then brought me to a cell, and I went to sleep. Cried myself to sleep. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
What are the first thoughts going through your head when you got into that room with that metal table
Dude,
when they put that piece of paper in front of you?
Dude, the reality didn't set in until when I walked past the cell, and it was like, dude, they took me at maybe like 3:00 in the afternoon. They raided my parents' home, went in, dude. And when they arrested me, it wasn't just 2 detectives. It was 2 detectives. They cuffed me, walkie-talkied some shit, and I seen like 4 to 6 Suburbans, big black ones, and U.S. Marshals hopped out because the government was closed down and my case was high profile. So I don't know if you remember before COVID, there was like this little period. It was like a month where the government was shut down. It was weird. Remember that? So the U.S. Marshals picked up an attempted murder warrant and raid. They raided my parents' house that day, took me to county jail while I'm sitting in the county jail in that holding tank. They were raiding, peeling my parents' crib, looking for everything. They took underwear, laptops, knives. Nothing was connected to the event because, like I said, I got rid of everything.
Yeah.
And my sentencing, I told the judge, I had to tell the judge, like, I got rid of everything. I burned it. And just crazy, bro. It set in when walking into that jail cell at like, whatever 10 hours was. It was like midnight, bro. At midnight. So it's like midnight 1. Like I'm so, I ate a little bologna lunch. I pissed in that room. And there's a big glass window where cops walk by. I was pissing and a cop said, hey, what the fuck are you doing pissing over here? I said, I asked you like 10 times to piss. I'm done. I don't give a fuck. I'm pissing. I just pissed in like, dude, like
you
a dog.
Like one last leg up before you gotta
bro,
really get in trouble.
Like a dog. Yeah. I'm going for attempted murder. It doesn't matter anymore. So upset, bro. So upset.
Damn, that I couldn't even imagine. Like I cannot fathom being in that position. I mean, like what did your parents think? Like when was the first point of contact you had with your parents after they had gotten their house raided, after you got arrested?
Dude, yeah. So imagine what the conversation was like at their house, right? So I was babysitting my little brother at the time. He was maybe like 12, younger. He was younger than that. So I was babysitting him at the time, just watching him, not watching him while I was supposed to be watching him at the crib. And then my dad gets a call from detectives while he's at work. My dad installs Pepsi machines and stuff like that. So he gets a call, we're raiding your crib. My dad comes home right away. He's pissed, mad. Like, you're going through all my shit. They had a warrant just for my living space, so just my room. They tore through my whole crib. And my dad was livid. Like, my dad's a law-abiding citizen, but he was pissed. They went through all his shit. Like, the warrant says his living space. This is my home, So he was livid. But I didn't talk to them till a week after, bro. A week, dude. So this whole week I'm stewing. I wanted to call them immediately, dude. I don't think I got to them that first night. And I like the first, you want a phone call? No, I don't have a phone call to make, bro. I'm going to bed. It's midnight. Like nobody's going to pick up. So it was like, and it was devastating. It was like I could tell my parents were so disappointed, but they were like still trying to be there for me. Cause my parents will ride a ship out to sink. You know what I mean? They'll ride the whole ship out like a captain. They ain't letting me down for nothing. But it was so, it was disappointing in my heart, bro, to let down my parents in that instance. And after a week it's like my mom's crying, dude, bro. I had literally thought my life was over. Like I literally was like ready to throw it away, like 20, 30 years, bro. Who's going to want to marry me after that? Who's going to want to be who's going to want anything with that type of situation? Like, I was like, I ruined my whole life in this one situation. It looked like 10 seconds, you know what I mean? 10 seconds of a poor situation. And I reacted like a dumbass, like a total dumbass.
So, I mean, like when this got brought to court and you got charged, and I mean, obviously the case of self-defense probably got brought up, like why did this not fall under self-defense? Like if this guy's rushing you and you just so happen to have that knife on you, like why was it not considered self-defense?
Yep. So, like I said, bro, this case is going to be a movie one day because of how insane it is. I get a public defender when I first go to jail and I'm looking at attempted murder. Like, dude, I got this fool who don't take care of himself. He's sloppy. He's got baggy ass jeans. We know that image, bro, that says I'm going to jail. I'm going to prison, right? So that's that fool. I got him times 10. Dude, for some blessing, I can only thank God for this. the highest ranking attorney in the public defender's office comes to me and says, I want to take your case pro bono. And he says, you're young, you're 19 years old. I don't want to see you get your life thrown away. And you have a very high profile case. So I said, all right, let's run this out. I told my mom, and he takes my case. And dude, it's like a year from that point. I'm sitting in county jail that he fights this case, right? And I take a plea for 74 months. I'm convinced I'm going to prison. They offered me 25 years. My first, yeah.
That was like, hey, you can take this.
Yeah, I was like, dude, yeah. I was like, I didn't even tell my mom. I was like, nah, mom, they haven't offered anything yet. I was like, I'm not telling my mom they offered me 25 years. Like, what the fuck?
That's insane.
And he's like, this just happens. It's normal or whatever. But then I ended up taking a plea deal for 84 months, and I just doing my little jail lawyer shit, looking at stuff, talking to people who've been in and out of prison forever. They told me, like, dude, 84 months is a godsend for a attempted murder. Like, dude, attempted murder, you stab someone, like going to prison for 8 years on attempted murder, like, is a godsend. Like, take it. Dude, I was in prison with people who had my same charge that were doing, like, they've been in since they were 16 years old as a juvenile, and they were sitting a 25-year sentence for attempted murder.
Dude, I can't even imagine, like, the fact that you could put a 16-year-old kid in prison. I mean, you're a different person from 16 to 17, let alone another 20 years. I mean, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, dude. And like, these were people who, like, I mean, call it what you want. They were guilty and they knew it, but they were like people who were just there when a trigger was pulled or something, or just there in the substance and didn't say nothing. Like, that's wild.
Like guilty by association kind of thing.
Yeah. That was one of my cellmates. I had this Mexican dude who was like 25. He had been in since he was 16 years old, and he was sitting a 25-year sentence for attempted murder. And he's like, you got attempted murder too? I was like, yeah. And he's like asking me my sentence. He's like, oh man. He's like, this shit ain't fair. I was like, I know, bro. It ain't fair. It really is not fair. Sentencing, prison, yeah, it's just not. I mean, I could go for days, bro, but like a lot of that shit just ain't fair in the terms of whether it's race, whether it's like all of it, bro.
There's so many variables, and it's basically just like how the jury or how the judge is feeling that day. I mean, there's so many variables to it. The span of range from 84 months to 30 plus years, it just blows my mind.
Yeah, what if I'd have said yes? What if I'd have said yes, like a naive kid, like, all right, cool, I'll take 20 years. That sounds fair.
Yeah, or like you already gave up. Like you already assumed that your life is over. Like, I don't care how many. Give me 50. I don't, it's all the same to me, you know? You could have said yes.
I could have said yes, bro. Or if my attorney talked me into it, like, dude, I talked to a lot of people who are I talked to this one specific dude in prison that's claimed innocent for 34 years. His name's Jay Burton. Shout out. I'm gonna send this to him. He's in a California state prison. And dude, I've been talking to him on cell phones, interviewing him, like trying to get his story out so people could understand it. But like, I don't know, dude. There's innocent people inside prison. Just realize that. Like, people need to realize, like, not everybody deserves to be there for that long, or for certain things, cannabis, you know, or like,
right.
I could go on for days for the laws, man. But you know what I mean? It's wild. It's wild to me.
So, wow. So you're in prison now, and I mean, obviously, life is going to be completely different. You got to adapt. What are the people like in the place where you first get into prison? And I guess first off, where were you in prison? The first St. Cloud is where you started in prison?
Yep. You got that right. So St. Cloud was, at the time I was in prison, that was the intake facility. So that's where everybody came through, and then you would get shipped out to wherever you were going. Now I believe that's Lino Lakes, but at the time it was St. Cloud. And St. Cloud is called the Castle. If anybody ever drives by it, I don't know what the highway is here in Minnesota, but you'll notice it's a castle, big old granite walls on it. But I went there, and dude, I continue to tell myself, like, just in my like years of criminal whatever, you know, it's like prison is just where you become a man, or, you know, you go in there and you just learn. It's like college for criminals or something. You're going to the university, but dude, when you get there, I'm telling you, you're looking up like 5 stories. So let me just give everybody a glimpse into what it's like walking into prison. So you're like, you know, walking in with 6-7 dudes in a line. There's a guard, some dude who's been working there 20 years. He's seen it all. Opens this metal door, and you look up, and there's 5 tiers. Everybody's at their damn cell looking at you coming in because they can't come out. So you're sitting in this cell for all day except for an hour for the first month going into prison. So you're in a cell with another dude, and dude, everybody's yelling, fresh meat. And they're like, dude, they're just yelling everything, bro. The first thing some people said to me was like, what up, Justin Bieber? And I thought like, dude, do I got to swing? Do I got to get buck right now? Like, I didn't. I just kept mobbing. But, dude, I'd hear that a lot in prison. People be like, you look like a movie star. You look like you should be in movies. And dude, I took that to heart a lot of the time, you know what I mean? And ran with it when I got out. But dude, prison is accumulation of literally like the state's worst of the worst. There's some good people. There's some gems up in there. But dude, there's some horrible people in there. And I mean that. Really? Horrible people, bro. Like some things I could tell you and you can Google, you wouldn't even believe that how horrible. Like you couldn't fathom this, bro.
I definitely couldn't. I mean, I wouldn't even have an idea, even through watching movies, of probably how the real life prison experience is. But I mean, can you give us a look into like some of the personalities that are in there? Like, what are some of the first few people that you meet in there, and how did they interact with you?
Oh yeah. So like, dude, my first 5 minutes walking into prison, which was, it's super ironic, bro. Driving up to your studio, we passed Rush City. Yeah. And they got a state prison.
Yep.
And that's where I spent the majority of my first couple years, bro. And it's a close custody facility, so it's rough, bro. They call it gladiator school.
Well, actually, we'll have to talk after the interview because I know a lot of people that actually work there, so I'm sure we know a lot of the same people.
Oh, for sure, bro, for sure, dude. I liked a lot of those guards there. There was a guard specifically named Cowboy there. I don't know if anybody knows him. Shout out, that fool was the shit. I loved him, bro. Gangster rings he had on, but dude, the personalities inside Rush City, bro, is like. The first 5 minutes I walked in, I'm bringing my stuff into my cell, bro, and I hear, ooh, 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 like, like someone's getting hurt, someone's something. I shouldn't have peeked my head out, but I peeked my head out, bro, and the guy in the cell next to me is getting stabbed, like stabbed in the eye, stabbed in the neck. Two dudes are stabbing him, bro, and he just came in with me. So, like, and they jumped him because he was in another gang. Like, right off the bat, they're like, who you run with? Boom, right on him, bro, attacking him. So, like, I was like, fuck, like, this is what I really got to get ready for. And everybody kept saying, you do not want to see Rush City written on your lunch bag when you wake up from St. Cloud and you're getting transferred. Dude, when I seen it, I'm like, oh my God, like, are you serious? Like, this is what I have to go through? And dude, from the moment I got to Rush City to the moment I left, I was there for like 2.5, 3 years, something around that. It was complete, like, watching over my shoulder every single second of every single day. When I was sleeping, bro, I would have dreams of like, jumping up, getting ready to duke it out and shit. Like, dude, it's rough, bro. It's rough.
Dude, I couldn't even imagine. So, like, you obviously you hear this like classic, like, don't drop the soap. Like, is that a real like prison thing? So, are dudes really trying to take advantage of you in the showers? Is that a thing? So
I'm definitely gonna say that like the drop the soap concept, like, dude, when you went into St. Cloud and they have these introduction videos, they have this everybody calls it the payday video. It's this guy, they're actors, prisoners, and they put a payday on a pillow. Dude's new, he comes in, he eats the payday. Now he's got a debt. You ate that payday, you ain't got no money. You know, that's that same concept of prisoners jumping into like, dude, any type of vulnerability, bro. If you could be mentally disturbed, you could not have some money, you could be a drug addict, whatever it is, someone's gonna find your weakness and suck it out of you, bro. And like, dude, I experienced that when I first went to Rush City. I had been involved in like gang life and like criminal lifestyle in the streets out in California. And I told myself, when I go to the joint, like, I am not going to allow my life to be jeopardized any further. Some dude told me when I first got in, that release date, don't even bet on that release date. It's going to be months or years after that because you're at the beginning of your sentence. You're going to get into all kinds of shit. You think that's going to be the same? I'm looking at him like, dude, that's not my release date. Like, it's going to get further. But dude, that was my mentality. I'm not joining a gang. And I'm not going to get involved in no politics, no bullshit. To say the least, when I went to Rush City, I was doing tattoos. I was doing getting in trouble, but I didn't join a gang. Okay, so the trouble I was getting into was like telling me like, dude, like it was hurting because like it was small shit. I had a fingernail clipper in my pocket. We'd go through these metal detectors, set it off, went to the hole. It was small instances like that would keep me in the hole for months on end. But I met a really good dude back there that became my mentor in the segregation unit in Rush City. and he's got a long history as a mobster, a mafia member, and like has a deep history as a mobster, as a hitman. And he was gonna like take over a family in Philadelphia. This dude like was that criminal I was looking up to, and then when I met him back there in the hole, like flip the switch on me. He's a unique individual. You meet some really cool inmates inside prison, and specifically Rush City, but he was one that's like, that fool has a special place in my heart, and he's like my family's friend. He talks to my mom and my dad and stuff, which is weird, you know. A mobster that's doing life talk to my parents, you know.
That's so crazy because like obviously like now that you've lived this whole other life, like you have now been introduced to a different part of society that most people don't even get to see. They don't even get a glimpse into other than in movies and TV shows, which is most of the time probably not even close to
like
how it actually
10%.
is.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. So now when you're in the hole, you call it, what is that? Is that like it's a separate area from the rest of everyone at the prison?
Yeah. So they call them K buildings. So just in the shape of a K, that's usually how things work. Like how those legs of a K of the shape of a would kick off. Those are kind of like the units that fan out, and they have like these glass doors that sit in between the K shape, right? And this is just like their walkway that they go through. But the hole was on a completely separate like area of the prison yard. They would have the general population in one area. You wouldn't see anybody. So if you're in the hole, like take you through the experience of what it would be like to go through the hole. I went through the hole with a metal detector, or through the metal detector with a fingernail clipper that I bought from them. They allowed me. It was not illegal. It was just in my pocket, came out of my cell, and that's where the infraction came.
Oh. So they want you to keep it in your cell at all times then?
At all times. And it was just me like clipping my nails, put it in here, and then you hear the bell and you run off to go to lunch. You know what I mean? You're like, you don't want to be late, because if you don't get out your door, they lock it within like 5 or 7 seconds, whatever it is, bro. The door gets shut and you ain't make it to lunch, you ain't eating today. So that was like on my mind. Go through, I didn't eat that day. I went through the metal detector. They took my ass straight to the hole, stripped me butt ass naked, took me everything, dude, everything. I'm sitting there butt ass naked in this cold ass cement cell, and dude, they give you nothing. So then you're like waiting for the next day that a captain comes on to review your case, decide if you should get out of the hole. Dude, I got like 30 days in the hole for that small infraction. I'm begging them. I'm like, dude, look, I'm really trying to do the best I can. Like, I'm not fighting anybody. I'm not stabbing anybody. I'm not doing anything crazy. Like, please. Nah, boom. 30 days in the hole. I'm sitting in there with people.
Dude, I couldn't imagine the stories that they get told though at that kind of stuff. I mean, I would imagine they've seen so much that's like, how could you believe anyone after? I mean, honestly, even doing that for a year, I would imagine that like the people that you come in contact with, how many times that you're like, oh, you know what? He's telling the truth. And then they get out and they go like kill someone.
Yeah. I should not have let this fool out. Yeah. yeah. I should not have let this fool out. Dude, that day when I went to the hole, I seen 2 dudes jump out of their cell and jumped a woman guard, blacked her eye, boom, popped her in her eye. She came to work the next day with the shiner, like laughing and like,
no way.
Dude, they're tough, bro. They're a different breed. They're a different breed. In Rush City, like, when I went from Rush City to Lionel Lakes prison, and even St. Cloud was different, but like the lower level custody, you feel this weight come off your shoulders, bro. It was like, damn, bro, this is like a country club compared to where I was. Like,
really?
Hella, bro. Rush City, honestly, I probably gave me PTSD. I don't know. Like, I feel like I've never been diagnosed technically, but like, it was just so much like, you know, like when your big brother hits you all the time and you're like flinching at shit?
Yeah.
It was never me flinching or nothing like that. It was just like that anxiety that just continued, like maybe throughout the years and even through release, just thinking like, I can't trust nobody. Like everybody's out to get me, or like, you know, I don't know. That's how it is, bro. There's vultures inside prison and they're looking for any type of weakness. Not that I had that, but that beef that I ran into was like, I said I didn't want to join a gang. Dude, there was people pushing up on me saying, you're going to have to pay money because you don't have protection. Like, who's going to protect you? We're going to whoop your ass, boy. Like, and I was like, all right, let's go, run it in. You know what I mean? I had like toilet paper balled up in my hand that was wet, and I let it dry so that I had like protection for my hands. And dude, I was just I had like 3 or 4 people standing at my cell telling me, you're going to pay. And I was like, well, I'm a paying fist, run in. And dude, like, no, but they just left it at that. They were like, all right, this fool don't want to fight. This fool don't want to duke it out with us. Though I will say this, prison is a politics game. Like, I did go to the leader of, you know, the white dudes, the white gang, and told them like, look, I'm a solid dude who is not looking to fuck up my time. So like, just don't let me get stabbed in the back of the head. Like, I'm a solid dude. I don't have no bad case. Like, look me up. Like, You know what I mean? I'm not looking to owe nobody nothing. And then luckily, bro, I think they just took it as like, you know what, this fool has nothing bad to him and he's sticking up for himself and he's willing to fight. So like, I mean, let him fight or leave him the fuck alone. And they left me the fuck alone. So
dude, that is just I couldn't even imagine. I'm just blown away trying to put myself in that scenario because I don't know what I would do. I like to think that I would be the one to like stand up for myself, but I would imagine you get, 5 fully grown men standing in front of you. Like, dude, that's intimidating.
Killers, bro. Killers.
And they got nothing to lose. Some of these people they know they're going to be there for the rest of their lives.
Oh, yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
They didn't give a shit, bro. There was people outside that door that were lifers, and they were telling obviously the young bucks, the young kids, like, go handle business. Go tell him we want money. Go tell him that. And like, dude, prison is such a crazy, like I said, bro, they suck you anything you can out of you, bro. It's bad. So
now what do you think is the best form of currency in prison? Like I always hear like honey buns and cigarettes, it seems like are always recurring themes that I see.
Yeah. I'm going to say this, bro, with the wave of TikTok and just being like an influencer and posting like prison content, stuff like that on YouTube, TikTok, like, dude, Minnesota prison is totally different in the comparison of like, I saw no cell phones in there, dude. Are you kidding me? I would have taken over like the entire internet if I'd had a cell phone in my cell. I just had like a motor, a tattoo gun. That was my trade. But dude, it's I don't know. It's weird.
I do see some of these TikTok videos of these guys like in their cell, like listening to music and mobbing out. And I'm like, how is this even? They're on TikTok live and people are sending them money.
Like Jim Pachi, bro. Yeah. They're getting donations. Dude, I'm going to tell you this, bro. Dude, you're going to be blown by this. The dude I talked to that's in prison and he's claiming innocence. He's been, I believe he's innocent. He's been in there for 34 plus years. Bro, he's got cars, like he's got Mercedes Benzes out on the street. Like, bro, he sells cars on the street and he's been doing a life bid since he was 16. Dude, he had Super Bowl tickets, bro. He was like, hey, you know anybody who wants Super Bowl tickets? I have 2 of them. I was like, sure, I'll ask my homies. I'll post it on my story. Like, why do you have Super Bowl tickets, bro? Like, dude, Eminem, 50 Cent, they were performing there. Like, this is huge. He's sitting inside a state prison with those, bro.
That's insane.
I know.
Dude, that just, the kind of access that people have, especially now that with the internet, like you have more access than ever. So how do they keep people off of or away from phones?
Yeah. So honestly, the majority of it, and I have an uncle who was a correctional officer. Dude, he got stabbed 9 times in the back of the head by a Crip gang member in California prison. Almost lost his life, but he stayed in the prison system working. He's told me countless stories, bro, of like the majority of it is payoffs, bro. It's people paying a guard. Hey, here's $5,000, or hey, I'm gonna pinch your family. Bring this cell phone or else. You know what I mean? And then they bring that cell phone in, and dude, my boy paid $5,000 every time he got a cell phone. $5,000 inside prison. And dude, he got bumped with like 3 in like a 3-4 month span, and he kept telling me, I was like, bro, you don't care that me and you were like. Dude, like I have 1 million followers, bro. I'm posting your videos and our interviews to these people. You don't care? He's like, fuck no. He's like, this is what's gonna get me out of prison. I want people to hear my story and that I'm innocent. And like, I'm like, bro, you're spending more money than I've touched in like, you know what I mean, 3 months. Damn. 20 G's on phones.
I'm with it though. If you really are innocent and you really believe that, like
he won't give it up, bro.
That's the way though, If it just takes one right person to hear that, I suppose. And
one person, bro, like a Kim Kardashian or like somebody who gives a shit enough. And dude, I'm telling you this, I've sat on FaceTimes with this fool for like 4 hours, dude, into the night where it's like 3:30 in the morning and I'm listening to him tell me why he's innocent. I would bet my whole life that this man is innocent, 100%, bro. And it just takes the right person to hear that. And like, dude, we've been pushing stuff from like trying to get a TV show, a documentary, like something that just would catch somebody's attention to do it. But like, I'm telling you, free Jay Burton. When you see Jay Burton on the news, you're gonna know that name, bro. He's gonna be like the longest incarcerated juvenile from 16 years old when he gets out.
That's insane.
And I know he's getting out, bro. Like, it's just on this fingerprint crap. And you guys can look into his story and stuff. It's wild, bro. It's sad.
That I couldn't even imagine. Some of those people like we talked about that you meet in there are absolutely terrible people, but let's talk about some of the gems that you talk about. I would imagine that there's got to be a couple of people that are just extremely smart because all they can do is read and learn and educate themselves. What are some of the experiences that you had with people that were just like unbelievably knowledgeable on something?
Yeah, dude. So I met a lot of people in there that were so intelligent, and then it was like things that I would like find an interest in, like writing. Okay, so I soon got into like I want to write little short stories or like a book and get into that. Dude, I met this individual who had won the his name's Ezekiel. He won a the first prize award for the PEN America Award, and it's like a prison contest writing contest that's like judged by some of the best authors and editors of literature work. Dude, he won that. He had a book that was edited by Carol Oates. If anybody know who's Carol Oates is, she's a like from the 40s or 50s, bro. She's a very well acknowledged, like very well recognized writer. Had a book edited by her through her. Wow. Dude, like it just blew my mind and dude, he was doing a life sentence. He had been there from 16. And I think he might be out now or was going to get out or something like that. But dude, it blew my mind, and I would go to him, tap in and like, bro, will you teach me how to write? Easily, bro. These people would just show you things. There was a guy, he was a pianist. He was doing a murder charge. He played piano for the background music in Disney movies. And dude, his name was Samuel. He was super African, bro. I went up to him. I was like, hey, would you teach me how to play piano? Like, I'm really interested. He's like, you miss one sitting where I tell you I'm going to teach you, I won't ever teach you again. So I never missed. I was there early 15, 20 minutes and he would teach me. Bro, I was getting like $100 lessons from this fool who was like dude, he was an amazing pianist. He was such a great musician. But like you meet these people inside prison, there's all these people and you wouldn't, if you didn't ask them what they did, bro, you would never even know. You know, like, man, I killed my mom. I had a snapped. I killed my mom and choked her out. Man, I did this. It's like, oh,
You always got to wonder too, like how many of these people do you think like had they not had that one scenario that messed up their course of their life, do you like some of these people could be world changing, history changing people, but just wrong place, wrong time,
Oh yeah, bro. When you said that, bro, that reminded me of this dude who was in my class. I went to this program at Lionel Lakes Prison, and he was in my class. He was an artist. His name was Carl. But dude, he saw Martin Luther King speak while he was alive. He attended Harvard. He had a master's from Harvard, bro. He got all this before he went to prison for murder and sat 30 years. And now, since he's been out like the last 5 years, dude, he's like a super sought after artist that creates these like realistic pieces where like, okay, here's like Muhammad Ali's gloves incorporated into like artwork. Dude, people pay so much money for his shit, and it blows my mind. There's so many people in there inside prison that either wasting away or like,
Do you think that prison shaped the way that you view yourself as a creative? Do you think that you are more creative now being able to have that reflection time in prison?
Oh, 100%, bro. I would have never sat down. Dude, you know what prison did for me? Or I'll say God did for me? He sat me down and made me sit inside a cell and question everything that I was about, bro. Like everything from like, dude, I had no morals, no standards before. It was just like money, money, money. Or I had this like idea of like what made sense, getting women or like having power, having a good job or whatever. All these things changed, bro, when I went to prison, and it was like a change of heart, change of mind. And dude, that like time inside a cell, you just do it for a day. Anybody out there listening, do it for a day. Sit yourself in a closet and listen to what your brain tells you and the things you have inside your mind. You really find out who you are, who's there for you during that time. You're sitting in this quiet time, and are you getting letters? Who's picking up your phone calls? Who really gives a shit about you? Do you even give a shit about yourself? Like what? Are you wasting life? What's life going to be like when you get out? And that was for me, bro. Like everything in my head was like, oh my God, like I have to figure things out because I'm losing time. In 6 years, bro, I'll never get that back. So like everything's to the fullest. I want to experience everything to the fullest. I don't want to waste a minute, second. You know what I mean?
So what was your strategy like going through in order to enhance, progress your own mind, but also not, fall into this like going into a gang or like doing stuff that'll make your time longer? You just kind of leaned into tattooing and and just like drawing and just art in general to be able to kind of like help pass the time along and to like really dive into that? Or what was the game plan?
Yeah. So I've always been an artist, just always been a creative, from sketching or little things, just always had art on my mind, and been a creative. So just creative through that process. So the first 2 years, like sitting inside Risk City, like I said, it was like battling, like, man, I'm trying to do good, but this small crap just keeps getting in my way. Excuse me. And at the time, my parents, my parents, like, they would talk to me, like, let's say once a month I'd call home. And me and my parents are super close, but like I said, they were disappointed in me. So like, what's the conversation going to be? Like, are you changing, Alex? And I'm telling them like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Okay, I'm in the hole. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're not changing. You've been in the hole for 9 months. Like, dude, I sat in the hole for 9 months. Dude, I was in the hole for 9 months back to back. Dude, I got fired from my job the first day I got out of the hole after 6 months and went right back for 3 more months. Dude, I had coffee in my underwear, bro. Like, and I fell asleep and forgot that I put the coffee in there. Like in a metal pack, walked through the metal detector, right back down to the hole. So then I'm sitting back. Everybody's like, what's up? You know, the people that never leave there. You know what I mean? They stay down there just causing shit. But dude, it was that. And it was like, from that point inside prison, bro, when I met that mentor back there, bro, he like changed my thought processes and, hey man, go read this book and question why you believe something or why you don't believe in something. And he's like, dude, he told me to read some, like, anybody out there, read The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. That's a hell of a book, bro. And just get into philosophy, get into reading, like expanding your mind and asking why. Why is it like this? Question. That's what I probably question everything, bro. He always told me question everything. Some stuff that I always kept from him was always like, don't take nothing that you haven't worked for. So don't accept a gift. Don't even take a gift if you ain't worked for it. That's like the Italian Sicilian code. Like, dude, a little short Italian, bro. But like looking up to this fool, he changed all my thinking in there, bro. And from that moment, he told me, you got to go do this. You got to go handle prison like this. You got this many years. I'm looking at 99 years to life. Like, dude, if I had your chance, I would do this. And when I left that unit, bro, I gave that old man a hug, and he made me promise him that I would go to a modeling agency when I got out of prison. And he said, promise me. And he was crying, bro. Like, ain't nobody crying in prison. He's the swamper. He's like, you mean a lot to me, kid. And like, he's like, you're the first kid I met in all my 40 years. He did, the 30 years in feds. When he got out of the feds, the Minnesota State facility or people picked him up and brought him in for 99 years to life. So he thought he was going home after 30, 40 years or whatever, came right to Minnesota prison. But yeah, the dude made me promise him that I would go to a modeling agency. And he's like, dude, you just have the look, something will pan out well. And I did. They told me no for a bunch of the first 6-7 months, and then something hit when I did a photo shoot with some people getting out. And dude, I have it to a credit to him. He's the only one that, like, dude, I was gonna do roofing. I was gonna go roof. I was gonna go back to what the hell I knew what I was gonna do. Roof. I was construction. So,
that's so funny. Yeah. So walk me through that, I guess. Like, getting out, what was that feeling like? Like, is this, you have to like readjust? I mean, you're now an adult in a world that you really only knew as a kid.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, dude. So I kept telling myself, like, life ain't gonna be different. It's only 6 years. Things, a new iPhone, like, whatever. But dude, when I got out of prison, it was like everybody was speaking different. They were wearing jogger pants. Never seen those in my life, bro. Never seen jogger pants in my life. I'm like, damn, what the hell are people wearing? Like, they're talking certain ways. They're saying slang. And it was so weird. But I get released from prison from the minimum facility at Lino Lakes Prison. And they bring me to a halfway house in Rochester, Minnesota. And dude, they just like pretty much dropped me off. And while they're knocking on this halfway house, it's locked. So I like couldn't get in. They were waiting or something. The dude just was like, I got a prisoner in the car. I have to leave. And dude, he just leaves me at the door, and I'm like sitting there like, dude, like, this is my first day, like my 5 minutes out of prison, bro. Like, what? No one's coming to the door. What do I do? Like, I don't have a phone. Like, what do I do, bro? But then I get checked in. I'd stay at this halfway house for 8 months and like acclimate to life, get a job at a thrift store, bro, at a Savers. So I'm working in the back at a donation center and going back and forth to work, walking, no car. And dude, I take these tally marks every day. People are dropping off donations and they're telling me, You look like a movie star. You look like a model. They keep telling me, bro. And I'm like, dude, if I don't just like, something's telling me to do something, bro. If I don't do it, and Tony made me promise, so I was just waiting to get out of the halfway house. Like I tried to do some modeling while I was in there, but rules are so strict, no cell phones, all kinds of bullshit. And like I had to use people's landline anytime, anywhere I went, bro. If I went to hang out with people at a pizza place, I got to, excuse me, sir, can I use your phone to call a halfway house and let them know I'm here? Like, dude.
People can't receive that well. I would imagine they're like, get the hell away from me.
Yeah, you want to use my phone? You ain't got a cell phone, dumbass? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Dude, it was the most degrading thing, but it's all right. It's just like a step I feel like I had to go through, you know? But, man, it's a trip.
That's, sometimes people that have such a strong will, I mean, obviously your case, I think, is the most extreme that a lot of people experience and live to tell. But some people just kind of, like you said, like have to go through living that way or living in certain conditions in order to be a better person. And I mean, I think you're living proof of that. I mean, you seem like a well-rounded guy. You're successful. You've made a really good name for yourself after the gate. You got the podcast, you got your merchandise, you got your clothing company, you got your social media presence that's also doing extremely well. I mean, you've done well for yourself. Obviously, none of this would be possible had you not gone through any of that.
I tell people a lot of the time, like, and they're like, what the hell? I tell people prison was a blessing for me because I honestly believe I'd be dead, bro. I honestly believe I wouldn't be above ground right now. Just with like because I didn't care. I had that, anybody out there that's got that fuck it attitude, just let it go. Do not have that fuck it attitude because you just don't care about nothing. You know what I mean? You got to care. This is your life.
Right.
You got to care.
Yeah. If you don't care about your own life, then who will?
Yeah. Ain't nobody taking care of you but yourself. You're all you got, bro. All you got.
So, wow. Okay. So you're out. You're in the real world now. What's your first like real entry into modeling, acting, social media? Like how does the rest of your life start?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm like 8 months at the halfway house, doing my thing, just working, saving up money, building relationships with people, trying to be normal, fit into society, and things were cool from the jump. You know what I mean? I wouldn't feel the effects of like prison, I feel, until like a year later, which was kind of weird, but like doing that, after that 8 months getting out of the halfway house, I went to see these agencies, and all these agencies in the cities, in the Twin Cities, and just reaching out by email, major agencies, all of them. I sent probably like 300 emails. Like all of them were telling me these tattoos just ain't working. You got too many tattoos. And I was like, shit, what am I going to do? How do I do this? Midwest values, this is like commercial. Yeah. These are commercials and stuff. People want to look clean and cut and all that good stuff. But
and what year is this? What year did you get out?
Yeah. So that's like April of 2017, I got out of the halfway house. So like officially released from prison, DOC custody into parole. So then I'm paroled. I'm being supervised by a parole agent in Rochester, Minnesota. Lo and behold, the parole agent is my probation officer that I had when I got the stabbing. So same person, bro. Same person.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they were like, Alex, you've grown up. Haven't seen you since 19, bro. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, yeah, by the way, I'm also a different person.
Yeah. I told him that. I'm like, dude, and he's like, I know. I seen your record. He's like, I know. I'm looking forward to it. And dude, it was so cool. Like my parole supported me so much, bro. Like, and even from a distance, they didn't bug me. Dude, they told me I could go to China, right? I get on parole. Most people don't leave the country. Most people don't leave the state on parole. Like I had an Asics commercial in China I was going to go to. And they were like, the only thing is that if they arrest you, we can't do anything. So I'm like, like that sounds cool, but do I want to be over there and get arrested? Like, okay, we got a felon over here in Tokyo. Get him, you know what I mean? Or Japan. Yeah. It's wild, bro. But the modeling started to kick off, bro, once one person saw the potential and gave me like a photo shoot, right? And was like, okay, I see the potential here. Let's do a photo shoot with you. And then those photos got attention, like got in a magazine. My very first photo shoot got into a magazine before I went, like 3 days before I went to the agency that gave me that photo shoot. I got my first book job at a salon company that's pretty big here in Minnesota. And that was my first book job. I got paid, $200 for the hour. And I was like, damn, it's my first book job. Like, this is it. Like, I'm in there, bro.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was cool. And then I followed through with that, did the photo shoot. And then those agencies, everybody who told me no was like, yes, come meet us, come see us. And I had meetings with everybody, bro. I had meetings with every single person who told me no.
So once they saw that you had some accolades and that other people were interested, then they're like, all right, we got to get this guy on board.
Seems legit now, you know, which I can understand that. Like, anybody out there looking to get into entertainment business, like, a lot of the time they're telling you, where's your portfolio? What do you got to show?
Mm-hmm.
And me, I didn't have nothing to show but a face. And a lot of the time they were telling me, like, dude, all you got is a fresh face. Like, you don't have a portfolio. Build that and then come talk to me. Mm-hmm. So that's what I did. I did that photo shoot. Got into acting classes, did commercial acting classes, paid for those and did them with like reputable people. And then, dude, it was like a snowball effect. People were like, dude, I want to work with that ex-con. I want to work with that look, you know? Yeah. This is the dude who's doing it, like, which is cool because, I don't know, not a lot of people get out of prison and pursue something in modeling. It's a whole different genre, you know?
Oh, I would imagine. I mean, and that's like, it almost feels like taboo. It almost feels like the opposite of what a lot of people will do.
Bro, yeah. You know how many times I gotten clowned, like, thinking, like, but that's that embracing, dude, the fashion industry and like, entertainment industry has embraced me as a whole and who I am. So, like, for me to, like, prisoners will laugh at that, like, you're a model, you put on some crazy looking clothes. And I put on some crazy looking clothes before, right, bro? Like, some crazy stuff, right? But it's just like, I appreciate it because the person who's doing it, they appreciate me for what I am, and then I'm getting paid. And it's like, I appreciate the fashion industry as a whole, and just like, dude, they got a lot to offer people, a lot. And dude, they don't shun people. It's almost like the skateboarding community, bro. Like, everybody accepted. I don't care where you come from, what side, you know, we're all skating. We all trying to do a kickflip. We're all homies. We're going to fight. We're going to smoke doobies together. You know, all that shit, bro. It's the same, bro. Just a different thing, you know?
For sure. I mean, it's all art. It's just a matter of like, what kind of art does this fall under? Yeah. I completely agree with you. I could see it. I mean, I'm not, you know, no fashionista myself, but cool.
Maybe one day you might hit the runway, bro. You never know.
I don't know what they want with a short bald guy. You know?
Hey, I'm telling you, if I got a runway show, I'm listening, you know? You're coming.
I appreciate that. Of course. So, walk me through your entry into social media. Then, like, what was that like learning how to navigate this new world of the internet? Like, it had to have been completely different from when you had went into prison. Now you get out, and now here we sit. You got over 1 million followers on TikTok. You got over 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. I mean, like, you have a massive online presence. Like, what was the start of that? How did you grow that? Like, what was the plan? Did you ever plan to like grow a big following, or it just happened that way?
Yeah. So, dude, it's like I had the plans, but it was like 1/3 of what happens, right? And like my, you know, you dream big, right? Tell people to dream big. Like, thought I was dreaming big, right? But it was like 1/3 of what comes. And dude, getting into modeling, like, I would have never been, I don't want to be on a phone all day. I don't want to be taking pictures. I don't want to be doing all that, right? That's like marketing, branding. It's necessary now. But getting into the modeling, I saw that social media was this presence of like, this is my portfolio, this is my book, this is everything that represents me. Mm-hmm. So I like soon took that as like, okay, I need to show people what I have to offer through my modeling, my acting and stuff like that. And then it was like, damn, these people really want to hear about who I am. These people, like, they don't care what I look like, or, you know, somewhat they do, but like the majority are like interested in what I've been through.
Yeah, the story behind it.
But yeah, who's this guy? Like, who's, you know, and maybe there's appeal through it. You know, I don't think I'm the best looking dude. I don't think I'm the greatest, but like, you know, they're like, damn, this guy went to prison. Every time I tell people, they're like, this guy didn't go to prison. He looks like a pretty boy. Like, yeah, no. But I tell people, like, dude, Martha Stewart went to prison. So, like, you know, anything can happen, bro. Anything can happen.
Right.
Anybody can go to prison.
What do you think Martha Stewart's prison tour was like? Do you think she got it pretty easy, or?
I do feel as if that, like, my transfer from Rush City to Lino Lakes, how I said it was a country club, she just lived that country club lifestyle from the beginning. Like, smooth.
Yeah, I've always heard that. You know, you see that in movies a little bit, where it's like the rich people, the politicians, the white collar criminals. You know, they're going to basically a detention center.
You know,
you know,
my dad always used to tell me that if we had enough money, I could pay you out of prison for sure. And I always thought, damn, I wish we had enough money. I really wish we did right now, Dad. This sucks.
So what do you think was like the first video or first series that you posted on your social medias that like really got some traction?
Yeah, dude. So it's so weird, bro. Like telling this story about when I was in county jail. So if it focuses around, people are really interested in prison and people want to know like, what is it like? What's everything surrounded? But it was a story about when I was in county jail. And dude, when I was in county jail during this year that I was waiting on the charges of attempted murder, my mom would work. She worked like maybe 2 miles from the jail. And on her way home, she would come. And there was this special process of like being able to see through the jail windows. They sandblasted them, so you couldn't see shit, bro. It was just blurry. But there was this process where you could take hair grease, okay, and then take saran wrap from your bologna sandwich, okay, you got it from lunch or whatever, and you put this hair grease on the window with a saran wrap, and then you take a card, your jail card with your picture and all that, and you scrape it, and dude, you can see through it. It's like magic, bro. So
you're basically like burning the plexiglass and then like straightening it back out so that it couldn't be like blurry again.
It's a magic trick, bro, because I'm telling you, dude, these people work magic. You can't see nothing, and then it's like clear as day. You can read a license plate, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just had a little.
I did see this video on your YouTube Shorts, and was this the one that was at like 36 million views or something like that?
Yeah, bro. That's the one.
It went nuclear.
Yeah, bro. That's it, dude. I don't know. That's why social media is so weird, bro. Like people hook onto an idea of something and then it just blows up out of proportion. And dude, I'm telling you, like I said, that was 1/3 of what I was trying to do. I had a goal of reaching 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like, dude, I'm going to reach this.
You got to get the plaque. I mean, that's everyone's thing,
you got to get the plaque, bro. On Tap's on next. I know it's
dude, I really hope so.
Hopefully after this episode.
If we get it hanging, I'll put it right up here on the set.
Yes, it's coming, bro.
I would love that.
It's coming. But dude, social media is a beast. So like, people out there, stay consistent, because that passion that like started, dude, I posted videos on YouTube for 2 years without, like, dude, I'm telling you, 2 years without a hit. And you know what I kept telling myself in my head? I give a shit enough about this shit. It's my life. I care so much about this. I'm gonna just share it with people. And then eventually, bro, someone gave a shit, right? Like, I don't know. So there's some Drake lyric, bro, about I'm trying to 40,000 people, trying to have them hear me, bro. That's real. I'm trying to have millions of people hear what I said. Like, dude, I had a fashion show in Minneapolis last night. There was a bartender, like I came up, was getting a drink at the end of the night, and they were like, no fucking way. It's Alexander the Great. They're like, I watch prison videos all the time. And I was just like,
that's cool.
Yeah, bro. Dude, I swear, anywhere I've gone in the United States, California, Texas, New Mexico, like people have recognized me, and it's from the prison shit. So like prison is the biggest blessing that came into my life. And I'm sure prison system's like, man, fuck all this, like we don't like it, but it's like, dude, I want to tell so many kids out there, don't go to prison. And I want to tell kids why it sucks and why you don't have to waste your life. Don't waste a second of your life doing something you shouldn't be doing. Or if it makes you happy, go do it. You know what I mean? But I was unhappy wearing this mask and being this person of like, who I truly was not. You know what I mean? Being this person that made everybody else happy but me miserable.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, I mean, what do you think, looking back on it, as like some reflection points? Like, what are some key takeaways that you can give advice to people on the come up in, like a creative scene, in the skateboard scene, in lanes that aren't necessarily clearly defined on where you can go?
Yeah. I love that, bro. I love that question. I would say that, dude, just follow your passion and don't be pressured by the world, and don't be pressured by social media numbers. Don't be pressured by like, dude, I love somebody who just embraces whether it's weird. That's why I got homies that are homeless and I got homies that are millionaires. Like I got people like, dude, I literally can find anything to relate to you with, because like, I've been there and I want to be here and I appreciate it. And like, there's all this like leeway of like, don't be nobody else but yourself. And dude, I think I lost so much of my life just trying to be somebody that I wasn't. And I tell kids all the time, just be yourself. Screw those people who don't accept you, because you're going to find those friends who do, that like tribe that vibes with you. And then you're closer to your goal of like finding lasting relationships that are fruitful for you in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Closer to who you want to be. You know what I I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's phenomenal advice.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you working on any cool projects right now? Do you have anything in the works that you're doing recently?
Yeah. So me and my brother, which we spoke about earlier in the podcast, I can't wait till you guys meet him at the
I'm excited. I'm bummed he couldn't make it today.
Yeah. Don't worry, bro. It's gonna be cool. But me and him and my family are working on opening up a resale shop. So we run this website called www.rememberthewayyouFelt.com. And the whole concept behind it is remember the way you felt when you had this item, when you had this thing, when you were doing this thing, right? So it's resale of like these nostalgic ass pieces, bro, like Goosebumps from 1995. Like this book at the book fair, bro, that you were like, I wish I could have bought that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the money. I didn't have that money to do it, bro. You know what I mean? Or the Ferrari poster. Like,
yeah. I was going to say the Lamborghini poster at the Scholastic Book Fair, dude. I never could afford them things. Zero chance my parents were ever going to buy that.
That's what I'm telling you, bro. We're bringing that now. We're bringing that for the people. And then, dude, the skateboarding's involved, the media's involved, all of that's involved in it. I'm going to continue to be doing short films that are impactful. So just enlisting actors, getting them on that creative juices with me, running the clothing, the merch. And then, dude, I want to get involved big time with community ties and like getting people, teaching them, bro, TikTok, teaching them social media, teaching them just like branding, marketing. Dude, it's so fruitful in the sense of just like getting whatever you want out there. You got a message, you want to tell somebody something, you want to be something, talk about it and tell people about it. Tell them it all the time. And dude, first thing I probably tell most of the people that I meet, like, I've been to prison, you know that? Like, let's talk about it. I want to tell you about it, please, you know? Like, that's the majority. And sometimes my wife's looking at me like, man, please stop.
Shut up.
Shut up, you dumbass. Yeah, nobody wants to hear you've been to prison, you know? I know. I'll lighten up a little bit, babe. No.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on. I mean, is there anything else that you want to shout out before we wrap this thing up?
Dude, so I do have some stuff, right? So I'm working on some stuff for anybody out there. I'm working on this concept called convict candy. I brought you and the boys some jailhouse coffee balls, bro. So those are a hard candy. Don't don't have a dental bill off them or anything like that.
Okay.
We'll have those available on the website. Just remember, there's also like a food and beverage company involved in it. But dude, these are all, bro. Okay, so just to give you a little insight, bro, if you look up, these are Keefy coffee, instant coffee that's in this item. So if you look that up, that's a correctional only, facility only product. You cannot purchase that to the public.
Really?
Yes, bro. So if you look up on eBay, there's like $30, $35 like instant coffee. This is the real deal product, bro. This is straight prison product, okay?
So you can only get this through Jailhouse Coffee Balls and if you're in prison.
Yes. Only in prison facilities, bro.
That's a hell of an advertising piece right there.
I'm telling you, bro. Convict candy. Dude, prison is going to be a fruitful experience for everybody, bro. I'm not even lying. So, I mean, you and the boys try them out, check them out.
I'm excited. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Dude, I was excited, and I'm excited for you boys and everything with On Tap.
I appreciate that. We'll have you on again. I'm sure. Brother. You got a lot of cool shit in the works. I think we have some of this fine pizza from the pizza pub down below us.
I'm so pumped, bro. I'm so pumped.
And I think we wrap this night up. What do you think?
It's game time. It's been a pleasure, brother.